The United States has quietly discussed the possibility of seizing tankers carrying Iranian oil, a move aimed at increasing pressure on Tehran amid sensitive nuclear negotiations. According to the Wall Street Journal, U.S. officials say the idea is one of several options being debated inside the White House as talks with Iran continue. But the plan comes with serious risks. Officials reportedly fear Iranian retaliation, as well as major disruption to global oil markets should tankers be intercepted or seized. This also comes after Iran's Revolutionary Guards seized 2 foreign crude oil tankers, accusing them of fuel smuggling. This comes at a moment of heightened confrontation with the United States. According to Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency, the vessels were carrying foreign crews, though their flags and nationalities were not disclosed. Iranian authorities claim more than 1 million liters of smuggled fuel were found aboard the 2 tankers. Tasnim reports that 15 foreign crew members were detained and referred to Iran's judiciary. The vessels were intercepted near Iran's Farsi island in the Persian Gulf, following what the guards described as months of surveillance and intelligence operations. The discussions underscore the growing tension between Washington and Tehran, even as both sides remain engaged in diplomacy over Iran's nuclear program. A White House official told the Wall Street Journal that U.S. President Donald Trump prefers diplomacy, but warned the administration has multiple options at its disposal if negotiations fail. Those options range from economic pressure to military and maritime measures, all carrying potentially far-reaching consequences. As nuclear talks continue behind closed doors, the question remains, will diplomacy hold, or will pressure spill onto the world's most vital shipping lanes?
As Netanyahu lands in Washington, alarms are ringing across Tehran. Behind closed doors, Iran is scrambling, not for talks, but for leverage. Quiet meetings, regional proxies, and back-channel diplomacy are suddenly moving fast. And as Trump weighs his options, the Middle East may be sliding toward another dangerous moment. The timing could not be more explosive. As Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sits down with U.S. President Donald Trump, Iran is making urgent moves across the region. Diplomacy is active, but so is preparation. Tehran appears to be bracing for the possibility that talks may fail. At the center of this maneuvering is Iran's top security official, Ali Larijani. During a visit to Muscat, Oman, Larijani held talks not only with Omani leaders mediating between Washington and Tehran, but also with Mohammed Abdul Salam, the spokesman of Yemen's Houthi movement. That meeting raised immediate red flags. The Houthis are a key Iranian ally and a major pressure point in the region. The encounter comes despite repeated U.S. warnings for Iran to halt support for armed proxies operating across the Middle East. The talks in Oman are especially sensitive. They mark the first indirect negotiations between Iran and the United States since last year's brief but intense Iran-Israel confrontation, a conflict that nearly pulled the U.S. military directly into open war. Behind the scenes, Iran is also engaging Qatar next. According to Tehran, Larijani's visit to Doha will continue discussions aimed at de-escalation. But critics argue Iran is hedging, talking peace while preparing for pressure. Meanwhile, in Washington, Netanyahu is expected to press Trump hard on Iran. Israeli officials have long argued that Tehran's nuclear ambitions and regional influence must be confronted decisively, even militarily. The shadow of war looms over Washington as President Donald Trump prepares to meet Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The threat of renewed military action against Iran is expected to dominate the talks, coming at a moment when diplomacy is hanging by a thread and tensions across the Middle East are dangerously high. Netanyahu is expected to press Trump to widen the scope of nuclear negotiations with Tehran. For years, Israeli leaders have warned that diplomacy alone may not be enough to stop Iran's march toward a nuclear weapon, and that time is rapidly running out. The high-stakes meeting comes on the heels of indirect talks between the United States and Iran, an effort to revive negotiations over Tehran's nuclear program. While Trump has called the discussions very good, deep divisions remain, and the path forward is anything but clear. Iran, meanwhile, is sending its own warning. Tehran says Washington must decide whether it can negotiate independently, or whether Israeli influence is shaping U.S. policy in ways that undermine diplomacy. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghaei said the United States is Iran's negotiating counterpart and accused outside pressure of harming regional stability. He stressed that Iran remains committed to diplomacy, but only under calm conditions, without threats. Baghaei also revealed Iran was willing to remain at the negotiating table for consecutive days if talks showed genuine progress, saying recent discussions were meant to test the seriousness of the U.S. position. Still, Iran has been clear about its red lines. Officials insist negotiations will focus strictly on nuclear issues and nothing beyond that. Israel sees the stakes differently. Ahead of his Washington visit, Netanyahu said he would present Trump with Israel's principles for dealing with Iran, signaling a tougher posture and fewer compromises.
I am now leaving for the United States for my 7th trip to meet with President Trump since he was elected to a second term. This does not, of course, include his unforgettable visit to Israel and his speech in the Knesset. I think these things reflect the unique closeness and the extraordinary relationship that we have with the United States, and I personally with the President, something that has never been equaled in our history. On this trip, we will discuss a number of issues: Gaza, the region, but of course, first and foremost, the negotiations with Iran. I will present to the President our ideas about the principles in the negotiations, the important principles, and in my opinion, they are important not only for Israel, but for everyone in the world who wants peace and security in the Middle East.
I think there's an extraordinary alignment between Israel and the United States. Everyone would love to see something that would resolve without war, but it'll be up to Iran. They insist on holding nuclear weaponry and enriched uranium, and I think the President's made it very clear that's not acceptable.
Our negotiating party is America. It is up to America to decide to act independently of the pressures and destructive influences that are detrimental to the region. The Zionist regime has repeatedly, as a saboteur, shown that it opposes any diplomatic process in our region that leads to peace.